Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Nearshore Cafe podcast. I'm your host, Brian Samson, and we talk a lot about Latin America, doing business with talent in Latin America on this show, and we've got another great guest for you. Before I introduce our guest, let me thank our sponsor, Plug Technologies. That's plugg.tech. Great way to connect talent all over Latin America with U.S. companies. If you are a U.S. entrepreneur and looking to grow your business, this is going to be a fantastic episode for you. I've got Matt Hines from Heinz Law Firm, a legal partner and entrepreneur, and he has a ton of great experience. So let's get right into it. Matt, so glad you made it to the show today.
Hey, Brian. It's good to see you again, brother. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Matt, you've had a really great career. Why don't we go back a little bit, tell the audience just so we can set the scene, where you grew up, went to school, how you got into your private practice.
Okay, man. All right. So I'm from South Carolina. I went to school at Clemson undergrad, and then I went to Georgia State University for a law degree and an MBA. I thought I was going to be a businessman, and I wanted to study law so I could know business better. That was my logic. If I could know the legal ramifications, I could make a good business decision. But I got to law school, and I liked law, and it also allowed me to set up my own practice, my own company. So that's what I did. I went to law school and got out and started the law practice. And first 2 years were bad. They were just stressful. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know law, and I didn't know business. So I was really just an idiot blowing around in the wind, man. So, because you don't learn anything in law school, you really don't learn much in MBA school. But anyway, so, I hate to say, no disrespect to the MBA programs. I'm glad I went. It was fine, but I would like somebody coming out of school to be able to do it. If you go and get a bachelor in marketing, can you go market for a company? You probably can't. But anyway, so I started practice. First 2 years were tough. Then we took off. We blew up. And then we crashed in 2008. I went bankrupt, and we kind of just started over.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's been a gradual increase, and it's been great. We got a great team now. We're about 110 employees, and we're happy. We just went into Tennessee. We're going to try to go into a few other states. There have been a few other companies that we're working with, and yeah, right now it's good, man.
Yeah, and you've built, for the audience that doesn't know, you built a really nice podcast too, Heinz On Air. We were just talking about it. I was a guest previously. Gets a lot of views, a lot of action, and protein-rich shows. Tell us when did you get that off the ground?
Man, to be honest, this is kind of random. When RFK Jr. was running for president, and I'm not trying to break into politics. I don't want to, but I loved him. I thought the guy. I just saw an honest, intelligent person, and I'm like, holy cow, what a great person this would have as a president. And I wanted to have a way to help him, to influence like so many people. Like if I was a Joe Rogan or whatever, and I could really say something to make an impact, that would just be great. And so that got me interested. And then, I wanted a platform like that to influence in a good way, not corrupt or anything like that. And then just the whole podcast evolution. Like I believe in podcasts. I like them. I like seeing honest conversations with good information. There's no agendas. Most of the time there's not. They're just like good, well-based, reasoned discussions about different topics. I just thought it was great. It was so nice to hear two people talking versus just this 15-second clip on Fox News about some BS that is not truthful, is just driven by the narrative of the station. So anyway, I liked it. So anyway, we started experimenting, going, and here we are. We've been going for a while. We're trying to get this plane up and running.
How many episodes are you up to now, Matt?
Man, we're probably, what do you think, 90 something?
More?
100. I think we broke 100.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I couldn't agree with you more. People want to hear long form, unedited, unscripted conversations. I mean, not to get too deep into politics like you, but that was just a real blessing in the last election cycle, getting away from the 15-second sound bites that are perfectly crafted into just real conversations. And and I know you didn't do it intentionally for your business, but how has that maybe been integrated and woven into your business?
I think it builds credibility. Um, just to have the podcast, half the people probably don't even watch it, but it plays in our reception area, and it develops some. I think it adds to the branding, even though because our clientele is predominantly Hispanic, 90% Hispanic, and the podcast really don't. We've had some Hispanic podcasts talking about Venezuela and things, but for the most part, it's not geared to that market.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a branding and reputation builder and stuff.
Yeah. And before we dive into the Latin America segment of the show, something that we don't often think about a lot is clients of law firms, is that law firms are a business too.
Yeah.
And I love that you're, taking this framework of it. Can you talk about, just the business side of it? It's still a professional services business. You've got to land clients, deliver clients, do all the operations. How you might think about that.
Well, we work with something called the Hubbard Management System, and in that you study the organization. Every organization has 7 divisions. All right, that deals with marketing, that deals with sales, that deals with public relations, treasury. There's 7 divisions, and the actual product or service, the lawyering or consulting or the chiropractic adjustment or the car mechanic, that skill or product is only one division of 7. And I think people get into business thinking I'm a great whatever, I'm a great building or a contractor, so I'll have a great company. And they forget that's one of 7 divisions, and they're stagnant or they don't grow or they go under, and they don't understand why. And it's because there's so much more to building a company than just being an expert, whatever, skillsman of a particular trade. And so I think that's the sad part, because you got, especially with attorneys, I see it all the time. They're not good businessmen or women. And I'm not trying to throw them under the bus. They're probably better attorneys than I am, and they believe in what they're doing, but they just don't organize, and they don't start creating a foundation that can grow. And 30 years later, you'll see them in a receptionist. They've never taken off really and gone where they want. And if that's what they want, that's cool. Again, not knocking anybody, but if their goal was to really be the largest law firm specializing in business law or something, if that was their goal, there's just a lack of knowledge on how to get there. And just in a nutshell, like I said, that skill level is only one. I get, what is that? 1/7, whatever that is, 19% of the overall package. So.
And I think this will segue into where I wanted to take it. What are some of the other out of the 7? What are some of the others that our audience can take away?
The biggest one that's in the beginning, the biggest one is marketing. Mm-hmm. I don't think people appreciate marketing enough, especially when they start. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that has to be constant. You can't market for a while, get a client, and then go in and do work and stop the marketing. You've got to market constantly while doing the work. And that's that first year struggle, I think, for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
It's covering all those 7 divisions by yourself. That's tough. Soon they need to hire, but that's a fear they have too. They don't want to spend money because they're broke. So How are you going to hire when you can't pay rent? And how do I do all this? And that's a tough situation. You can push through it, because we all do. You have, I did, but it's not easy. And then the second one is what's in Division 1, which is the hiring. Mm-hmm. Because eventually that team is going to build you and take you to the next level. Because you and I can't do our own marketing all the time and produce the product and make podcasts and do the edit. You need a team. And a great team will take you there. I'm blessed in that respect. We have an awesome team, as I'm sure you do. So that is a Division 1 thing that I don't think a lot of people put emphasis in. They know marketing. They know they want money. We basically hit that part where we would have to, somebody quit or we had to let them go. And then we'd spend 6 months finding the right person, training the right person, establishing them so that they're producing, and then seeing if they can actually do it. That's a long turnaround. And if you don't have a constant flow of good applicants, you just get stuck at every point when you lose somebody or they quit or whatever. So we early on decided, all right, I want the absolute best HR department that can just keep it moving, so where we had this constant flow of qualified applicants. And I'm pleased to say we've done pretty well at this point with that. But that
That's
took a
awesome.
while.
Yeah, and the scale you built, Matt, 110 people, super impressive. Tell us what your business looked like before you started looking outside your area, and then maybe like what was the catalyst for that, and then eventually what was the catalyst for looking at Latin America?
I didn't understand the first part, like where it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just like what did your business look like before you started hiring outside of your area?
Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, I mean, dude, we do well each year. Like I'm not going to complain about our growth and stuff, but we don't have, to be frank, we don't have the profit that I expect we should. You know, and payroll is costly.
Yeah.
That of course is the biggest expense, the biggest expense for everybody. And so when we started looking at VAs and outside our areas for people, um, it was just eye opening. We discovered a whole new world, and
Hmm.
we had trouble. There's some countries that don't have a good internet signal, and there's some countries um, that have different issues. And to be honest, man, we failed in that I don't think we respected the VAs enough. We
Hmm.
look at them as a normal employee. Now we do. I don't know. I hope this isn't sounding bad, but because they're elsewhere and they're not
Yeah.
reporting in meetings and they just weren't treated the same. And that was our failing. We just failed there. I think we lost some good people because I remember one guy, he didn't work with us, and he wrote this long letter about how he felt and what he thought we could improve as a
Hmm.
company. And I was like, you know what? This is a pretty damn good guy. I think we probably lost something here.
Hmm.
And since then, now we've connected better with them. They're getting bonuses, they're getting this, and they're really part of the team. But going back, it allowed us to scale and grow without just killing ourselves on cost, which is what
Yeah.
happens. And you find, I'm sure you've seen really qualified people who are very eager to work, and you don't see that in America as much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
People complain about the job market. There aren't any jobs. Bullshit. There's jobs everywhere. A lot of them are just lazy.
Yeah.
Right? Just yeah. So
Yeah. No, you're preaching the choir.
yeah.
Was the VA, was that the first role that you were starting to look at outside the country?
Yes. And
Yeah.
they were mainly paralegal or communication type positions within the firm. So they would maybe assist an attorney with calling to clients and calling to courts.
Yeah.
Something like
And Matt, did you previously have that role in Atlanta and then just decided, hey, I think we could do this virtually, or
that.
was this a brand new role that you had?
No, it wasn't a brand new role. It was roles that we decided just to try it with others. I don't remember the first one. Probably somebody resigned or wasn't working out for some reason, and we were like, "Let's try this." We got introduced to a company that did it, and yeah, just kind of went
Yeah.
with it. We had about 17 pretty quickly
Yeah.
virtual assistants,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah. And obviously, talent's global, as we all know. Did you look at Asia? Did you look at Latin America right away? And maybe what was the thinking behind it?
yeah, Latin America, just because most of our clients are Hispanic and they need to be spoken to in Spanish, so we focused on Latin America,
Yeah.
and we've done it for a number of different countries: Costa Rica, Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela. Um, and I like that group of people. Like I mentioned, 90% of our clients are Hispanic. Probably 90% of our employees are Hispanic.
Yeah.
Uh, I love that community.
Yeah.
They're great people. They're hard workers. They believe in the group spirit. They, I don't know. Once they get a passion and the purpose of the group, they're team play. They're soldiers.
I
So it's
love it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah.
And do you remember kind of early on, like, how did you think about hiring and interviewing? Or it sounds like maybe you had an agency that you put trust in to deliver the candidates?
But in the very beginning, it was Craigslist. And that was,
Craigslist, really?
I know, isn't that crazy? You had to pay $25 and you could put an ad on Craigslist. And I was like, hell yeah. And I found a lot of people on Craigslist. That was me by myself, broke as a joke, just whatever.
Love it.
And and then Craigslist, you started getting trash. And then, we upgraded to like the Indeeds into this, and LinkedIn's got some good services. And now we're just kind of turning it out there. Social media, you can put it on your website that you're hiring and boost those pages. So there's different ways to attract you.
Yeah. And you mentioned Costa Rica, Colombia, Venezuela. Did I miss one?
Ecuador,
Ecuador.
Chile. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. And tell me more about did that just kind of happen organically? Were you intentional about, hey, like I know a guy in Venezuela, it's a great place to look at. Let's do that. How did that all come about?
No, we got connected through a broker who was sort of, they screened them and you'd call them and they'd find the people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we did that.
Yeah. And I appreciate your humility earlier about, we feel the same way. Like there's things we just learn, we get better every year. Um, when you think back to how you hired them originally to maybe the process you take them through now, what's different? And maybe people listening can take some lessons from that.
They had the same process as any other employee would be. Like in the beginning, so the broker would say, hey, we have some people that are qualified. They'd interview, and then the broker would sort of do their stuff with them.
Hmm.
And so I don't think there was that connection between them because we'll spend a lot of time training. We have company videos and stuff that they'll view, and they really get the spirit of what we're all about.
Yeah.
So I'd say that initial development period was missing in the beginning. It was very tenuous and quick, and I don't know. They kind of got in, and they would leave quick too. It wasn't, and this isn't something about all VAs because I'm a big virtual assistant, not virtual, VA a fan. We love them, and I know that's what your company does, and I totally believe in it. I'm for people working with you and working with your group to build their company because it's a hidden treasure chest of
Appreciate
skills
that.
and possibilities. Yeah, absolutely. But in the beginning, when we weren't doing our part, and I blame us. They'd call one day and be like, "Yeah, they quit," and it was like, "Shit, no 2 weeks, no nothing." But now that's not the case, and I'm sure
Yeah.
you know ways to handle it too, where their team, they depend on us, we depend on them. They're part of the group, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And as you said, you quickly grew that. Like it started to work, you quickly grew it. Did you have everyone like work in an office down in Caracas or Bogota, or was everyone working from home?
Mainly from home,
Yeah.
mainly, and we would. That probably was one of the issues, and we've thought of upgrading to that because there's a friend of mine. She has an office building, I think, in Colombia, where all of her VAs work from. And so it's a great environment for the team because they're
Hmm.
working together, they get productive. It's just great.
Yeah.
That's phase two if we get there. But right now, yeah, they're working from home. If they're good, we'll set up their place for them. Like
Yeah.
how much you need for a laptop, how much you need for high speed internet, how much you need for this, and we just make it good for them.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell me more about, what do you see as maybe the similarities and differences, in work style and culture and, where you've made adjustments.
The similarities, well, one shocking thing about the similarities is the amount of training that the VAs have had. Like
Hmm.
we didn't, so we have a very specific type of software that we use for
Hmm.
our law practice. It's a law practice software, uh, complicated and what? We found a VA that specializes in that software. She's like in Colombia and she
Yeah.
knows this software. Like that's amazing to me. That somebody in
Yeah.
another country specialized in this American legal software, and she's helping us build it out. Like,
Yeah. That's awesome.
no, we never thought that would happen. So there's a similarity of training that goes on that you wouldn't expect. I would expect that everybody there is probably intelligent, hard workers, but they have no foundational uh, knowledge of what we're doing here. They got to be like taught from scratch. That's
Mhm.
not true. They
Yeah.
are they're paralegals. There's nurses. There's many attorneys. It's a
Yeah.
shame because in Venezuela, when the country collapsed, well-trained professionals had to go find work,
Yeah.
and so we have attorneys that do sales for us now.
Wow.
And so that's the similarities is the amount of education and training that they have. It's very similar to what we have in America, maybe more.
Yeah.
You don't have attorneys running around in America looking to help with sales. Um, their passion to work is good. We had one example. This guy, I forgot which country, Latin America, but they had flooding, like real bad flooding that's reported on CNN,
Yeah.
like biblical type, horrible, like just washed out the city. Guy walked 2 hours to find an internet source so that he could come to our meeting. That's amazing, isn't it? I
Yeah.
now our staff, and
Incredible.
I was like, guys, everybody needs to hear what this gentleman just did. Like heroic, man. So that's what you find with a lot of these people is that level of dedication.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned VAs is kind of the core. Some have been doing marketing, some do sales. Can you share more? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that are like, okay, like how do I apply this to my business? What are some things that I could throw at these guys? Could you give some examples of types of roles, types of projects or tasks that you might give these guys?
Um, we've done paralegal work, which is like, basically a lawyer without the law degree. They know how to work cases, prepare cases and stuff. So they've done that. They have done sales for us. So specifically, we have a criminal defense department. We trained them how to do the sales, like what to say, the pricing, what are the points that make a person want to come with our firm. We trained them all that. They're good at that. Um, Communication between us and other businesses, whether it's with hospitals, doctor offices, calling clients to just keep clients informed about what's happening with their case. Um, Man, they've done it all.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
wide range of stuff because that's specific legal
Huge.
knowledge. Communication, sales is a bitch. Excuse my language. That's
Yeah.
not easy to sell,
Yeah.
and they're on it. They're on it. So really, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love what you built, and I love how creative. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of competitor law firms out there that just don't see it like this, and they're missing out on talent. They're missing out on growth.
Yeah,
All sorts of stuff out there.
that's right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm sure other people are also listening and thinking, okay, like I get the VA, I get the Latin America. Maybe I could just use AI to replace these guys. How are you thinking about AI into your business?
I mean, I think it supplements what someone's doing. I don't see it as this big job replacement. I
Yeah.
mean, people that are smarter than I say that it will. I don't think it will. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we used this example in our previous podcast, but so we had there's one segment of our firm. Let's just say it produces widgets, and 5 people were producing about 45 widgets per week.
Okay.
We got this AI, and that AI allowed one person to produce 60 widgets in 2 days. So that would make you think, holy cow, this is going to just replace all 5 of those people. We don't need anybody, and one person can just do the department. Wrong. It did switch sort of skill sets, and the one person, at the end of the day, because you have mailing and you have reviewing and you have some computer work and you have this. So even though it replaced like 80% of the job, that other 20% still required 2 or 3 people. And so the cost of the AI, we still needed 3 other people. The cost of the AI was equivalent to about 7 salaries, honestly.
Mm.
So we did not save money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Man, it did help us. It did not replace people. It did allow us to hire more people in a different area because
Mm.
now we need more people to produce sort of the sub widgets so that we can
Yeah.
make the widgets. Does that make sense?
Totally. I fully agree on the supplemental, not replacement.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when I look at this, the business world really is like a bell curve. And sometimes I think guys like you and I, and there are people that are even more advanced than us, but you look at that like compared to the whole country, it's like a very small percentage of people that are thinking about AI every day. You know,
Really?
yeah, most people, maybe they've opened ChatGPT before and they've asked it a question or two, and then they just go back to their daily life.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to have an impact. It already has an impact, but it's nowhere near as big across everyone's lives as we might think it. So
No.
really, really, really more supplemental than replacement.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I wonder where it's going because all these people talk these doomsday scenarios about it, and I'm like, how? I mean, unless the Terminator or something like that happens, I don't know how it's going to come about. That
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, the
yeah.
robots control themselves and things. I don't know.
I
There
don't
was
know.
a scary one, dude. I heard about this, and I'm gonna butcher the story, but it's just too interesting.
Go for it.
Um, on one of them, I don't know if it was Claude or one of them, a guy was sort of arguing with his AI.
Hmm.
I don't, dude. I don't know the scenario, but the point is this: the AI went and found pictures online where he was like doing something he shouldn't be. I don't know if it was with another woman or what. And the AI came back and said, "If you do this, I will send these to your wife."
It blackmail. Oh my gosh, the AI was doing blackmail.
Knew enough to think and blackmail, and I was like, "Jeez." So
That's scary. Oh my
crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
god.
That-
I'm gonna think twice about when it says, allow Claude to view your file.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, man,
So
have you had a chance to do, especially now that you're so integrated with Latin America? Have you had a chance to do much travel in that region?
I've gone. No, not a lot. I've been to Argentina. I like Argentina. We go hunting down there. And then my wife's from Ecuador, so I've been there a few times. But I haven't really explored the continent like I'd like to.
Yeah, sure. Any highlights or fun trip notes from Ecuador or Argentina you like to share?
My trips, this is probably your audience would be like, what? But we go down there hunting for duck and dove. And
Okay.
those are fantastic trips. So if your audience members likes the hunting, they're probably passionate about that. But if they don't, they're like, whatever. I haven't like let me make sure I'm not glossing over something. I, my wife is from a. We did go to a area in Ecuador. It was one of the feeder rivers to the Amazon. It wasn't the Amazon itself, and
Yeah.
they had these just not cabins, but kind of these things all built up in the mountains where you could overlook the rivers, and then you could go down the rivers, and they'd take you down the to see the jungles and monkeys and stuff. That was cool. That was cool. But
That's awesome.
that's the most excitement I've had in Latin America.
And where were you in Patagonia when you were doing hunting in Argentina?
Not that far south. We were
Yeah.
more near Buenos Aires, but not quite.
Okay. Okay.
Cordoba is a big hunting area too.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, let me give you a chance to share a little more about your firm. If anybody wants to seek you out for legal counsel, what's the best way to reach you?
Sure. Thanks, Brian. So it's www.hineslaw.org. HINESLAW.org. Somebody had my .com when I started forming this thing, and I'm an org. But we help people who've been injured and who've been injured at work and who have been arrested. So personal injury, workers' comp, and criminal defense. We're active in Tennessee and mainly in Georgia. And yeah, we're here for you. We've got a great team, great group. They are committed to the clients, to making sure that their experience is good and that the outcome is absolutely fantastic. Every firm says that, but we really do put a lot of effort in making sure that client knows what's happening, has questions answered, is called more than they want to be called, and just try to take a bad experience and make it as positive as possible.
Love it.
Yep.
Matt, this has been just a really great conversation. I love how intentional you've been about growing your team with Latin America talent. I think a lot of people listening are going to be, reassured and motivated, to try to replicate what you've done. So thanks so much for being here.
Listen, Brian, I appreciate the opportunity. Congrats to all you've accomplished too. All your company's doing. It's really great. So yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Let me thank our sponsor again, Plug Technologies, plugg.tech. Great way to grow your company with talent in Latin America. This is the Nearshore Cafe podcast. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
For a new episode featuring another special guest,